Juicy woman spares, for sure.
Excuse me. Did you
There's free water upstairs.
I hear Adriana's walking.
I brought some tissues in case it was emotional.
Test 1, 2. Good evening, I am Juanqui and welcome to my world. It's a cornucopia of stuff. I hope you had a good productive Monday. I know Mondays are long, hard, and uncut around here. I just stepped out of the shower, dried myself up, put myself in my pajamas, and I'm here in front of the red microphone about to get real dramatic with it. And the confession goes, I let someone change me so much that I don't recognize myself anymore. Ooh, young lady. Here we go. I'm 23, female, and my boyfriend is 26, male. We've been together for almost 4 years. He's a tattoo and body modification artist. And when we first met, I thought he was the most creative, fearless person I had ever seen. He made everything feel exciting and different from the life I grew up in. I come from a very religious, traditional family. I was always the good daughter. I followed rules, stayed quiet, never really questioned anything. Meeting him felt like stepping into a completely different world. For the first time, I felt seen in a way I hadn't before. In the beginning, everything felt like my choice. My first tattoo felt empowering. I remember being nervous but also excited. Then came more tattoos, then piercings. Each time, it felt like I was becoming bolder, more myself. He would always tell me how beautiful and unique I looked, how I was evolving, how I wasn't meant to stay the same forever. Girl, he got you. Over time, things got more intense. What once felt like small changes slowly turned into bigger ones. My whole body is now covered in tattoos. I have piercings in places I never imagined before. Well, we know that what that means. Them beef curtains have jingle bells hanging from them. He altered my ears, split my tongue, and I even got large breast implants. He didn't even leave my lips untouched. He put implants in them too. Girl. What in the Frankenstein thing is... The scary part is, I didn't hate it back then. I actually enjoyed it. I liked the attention, the feeling of becoming someone different, someone bold and untouchable. Every step felt like a rush, like I was shedding my old self and becoming something new. But now, when I look at myself, I don't feel that way anymore. I just feel lost. I don't recognize the person in the mirror. I keep thinking about who I used to be, and I don't know where she went. I don't know when this stopped feeling like freedom and started feeling like something I can't escape from. My parents were heartbroken when they saw me. We barely talk now. My mom is in the last stages of the C word. And recently, she cried while looking at me. She kept saying I used to be such a good girl, that something bad has taken over me, that she doesn't recognize her own daughter anymore. I didn't argue with her. I couldn't, because a part of me feels the same. Lately, I keep thinking about everything that happened over these 4 years. I don't know if I truly chose all of this or if it was slowly pushed into it or if I was slowly pushed into it without realizing. He always made it feel like it was my decision, but now I wonder if I was just trying to please him. Trying to hold on to that version of love he gave me. Sometimes it honestly feels like I was manipulated, like I was slowly changed into someone else's piece by piece, into someone else piece by piece, and I hate myself for not realizing it sooner. I feel like I've ruined my life. Well, I've lost my family, especially at a time when my mom needs me the most. And the worst part is, I can't undo any of this. This is who I am now, whether I like it or not. I don't know how to live with this regret. I don't even know who I am anymore. So this is our confession. Let's see what some of the folks are saying, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts. All right. Somebody says, I think you should talk to her about everything you just typed out here. Tell her you feel lost, don't recognize yourself, and have regrets. You've changed a lot, but you're still her daughter. On the inside, you're still yourself. Somebody says, from a mom's perspective, the worst for me would be to see you unhappy. It's the number one thing moms want, their kids to be happy. It's also extremely hard to see a kid putting themselves in danger or modifying their body, even if it's just piercings. Why? Because we cradle these bodies from the very first minutes. We stopped countless falls, saved your lives 1,000 times, went on out of our way to give you the healthiest food and the best start in life. It's a very normal process then for kids during puberty to assume the body and make it their own, and we need to let go. But I guess in this case, it happened all at once and was even harder for the mom. I'm curious to know what happened to the boy. Did she say this is an ex, or is this I am 23 female and my boyfriend is 26? Oh, she's young, girl. Why would you let him do that to you? I'm going to have to cut in and give my piece of advice now. Listen, she's young, but she's not that young. You understand what I'm saying? Like, dumb kids. I know how it sounds. Dumb kids. But it also makes me think about what was the upbringing. I know she says she was very religious, very strict, the whole nine, but there had to have been something lacking in that family unit, the family structure, that she felt like she needed to run to a boyfriend and let the boyfriend manipulate her. Now, I use that term loosely because at the end of the day, he didn't strap her down and make her do anything. All right. She still had to sign her permission slips, her consent forms, and she still went ahead with it. It's a sad case. It sounds like, first of all, she split her tongue. What were you trying to be, a lizard? God. I'm from New York City. Sometimes you see everything in the street, in the trains, at events or whatever, at the club, at the lounge. And every time I see people with facial tattoos, and I have tattoos. Okay. Let me start by saying that. I have several tattoos. Now, you wouldn't be able to know unless, you've seen me without a pieces of clothing, but I have several tattoos in my body. You can't tell unless I'm at the beach or I'm in my birthday suit. But when I see people so I'm not against tattoos. I am it makes me take a pause when I see people with facial, like in the face tattoos, and especially when they're not really meaningful. And who is to say if a tattoo is meaningful to them or not, right? But like if they're not, like if you're not from a tribe and you don't have tribal tattoos in your face, like I don't see any other reason why you want to have some man's name put up in your eyebrow or in your forehead or in your cheek or even the neck tattoos. Like it's something about that. But the face, like when people do stuff to the face, because the face is the first thing that you go out there into the world with. You know what I'm saying? Like you look in the mirror, the first thing people are going to see is your face. So when people put, and it's not just the tattoos, it's also the piercings and also the, like these little balls that they put in different areas of the face or like the body to make their body look reptilian and shit. Like that to me starts teetering among the lines of like emotional distress. To me, that's dancing with mental health. That says something about you gotta sit on somebody's couch and let's talk about it. Like, why are you mutilating? To me, that goes hand in hand with like the cutting. It's a time where like the young people were doing the cutting shit and scratching their arms and shit. Like Lord, why? Like, why would you want to inflict that type of pain? And then have the marks in your arms and shit. Like it's, to me, it's all related to some type of mental health. It's a sad case for this young lady, and it being a woman at that is even worse. Like guys, guys can get a little bit away with it. Guys can get away with a little bit more than a female. Like tattoos and the tongue is like a lizard tongue and piercings everywhere. That's different. Like for a girl, it's so like unladylike. And I'm not trying to sound old chauvinistic and stuff, but it's not ladylike. It's not attractive. I mean, I'm sure it's attractive to a very small group of people, but it's just not the best way of representing yourself. Now, this young lady is learning the hard way at 23 years old that actions have consequences, girl. You should have thought that through a little bit further. Now, yes, you have completely allowed somebody to shape your outside. Shape your outside while hurting your inside. Okay, just while hurting your inside and your self-esteem and the whole not, like it's nothing for you to do. But if you want to take him out, take him out. But if you have tattoos and all of that, like it's a very painful process to try to revert back, and there's still gonna be scars and things like that. It's a painful lesson. It's a painful lesson that you have learned at this point, and hopefully people around you, other young ladies, can learn from this story. It's heartbreaking, Love Blake, but I mean, what she want to do? Now all of a sudden she's gonna claim that he manipulated me and he made me do this, unless he strapped her down. Drove her, strapped her down, and put some tape around her mouth so she couldn't yell or whatever, and forge her name. She was a willing participant. And in the confession, she says it in the text. It's right in there, where she says she wanted to be more adventurous, become this, for lack of a better term, this vixen. You know what I'm saying? She thought, or you thought. And now, as you get older, it's only going to get worse, young lady. As 23 becomes 32, and you realize all the job opportunities that are going to pass you by. Because that's the thing. When these kids get their tattoos in the face, like I said, I have tattoos. I have more than one. I have more than two. I have several tattoos. But my tattoos never stopped me from being in the boardrooms and getting my director position and doing, even being on stage and the whole nine. Why? Because they're not visible. They will only be visible when I want them to be visible. You understand what I'm saying? And there's this whole undertone and this whole stigma around people who have tattoos. Let me tell you, my family, and I'm a male in the family. My family had a hard time with the first tattoo, and the first tattoo was just 4 little letters. 4 little letters. Okay, they weren't a design. It was 4 little. And coming from the background that I come from, you have a tattoo if you've been to jail. That's what my grandma and aunties and mother and all of them they all thought. Everybody who had a tattoo came and they got it done with like a big pen in some type of cell, and that's where the tattoos came from. All right. Now, is that an ignorant point of view? It's an ignorant point of view. Yes, absolutely, because that's just not true. However, this is what they grew up and believed in, and the ones that I have passed on, this is what they believed in. When these kids get their tattoos in their faces or the piercings and all of that, and even the tongue ring in the tongue and stuff like that, and they go to job interviews, you go to job interviews with that shit. You don't even have the decency of taking it out. You go to job interviews and then you're upset that you barely making minimum wage. Life is so hard. Life is so hard. Well, look how you presented yourself to life. Look how you walking into the rooms that could potentially change your life. But you want to be so different, so unique. This is how I express myself. This is okay. So express yourself and don't pay no bills. I know, a double negative. I know, I did that on purpose. Okay, be more adventurous. Don't be negative. Negative Karen, negative Nancy from accounting. Okay, who looks very boring with her little bob and her little long skirts all the way down her calf and shit. Don't be little Karen from accounting. Cause she boring. Yeah, she boring, but she got 2 cars. She has a house. She goes on vacation several times a year. She's constantly dining out. She walks in with, she has a good 401k. She's gonna retire early. She has planned it out so she can retire early. She continues to get bonuses at the workspace. They've given her own office. They gave her a promotion. Love Blake says, I can't stand those nose rings or the tongue ring. The tongue ring is like, and then let me tell you something. Every time, and again, another ignorant point of view. But now let's put, just like my family members thought that if you had a tattoo, you were in Rikers Island, and they did it to you with a blue Bic pen. Growing up, especially if you was a gay boy, in New York City. No matter how masculine you looked or how feminine you look, if you had that silver little ball in your mouth, you was ready to suck some dick. Okay? And you want to know what, Love Blake? I know for a fact people in the circle that had them tongue rings when it was a big thing, and they was all getting down on their knees. It was like advertisement. It was like, oh, I know. The tongue ring in the mouth, that means they always got to have something up in their mouth. Love Blake says, worse than a tramp stamp. Absolutely worse than a tramp stamp. Oh, my God. How many girls I saw in college with the thing. And a lot of them regretted it, and they were always trying to hide it. Like if they were pants and stuff like jeans and like a shirt, they were always trying to pull the jeans up so that you couldn't see the stamp. Oh, and then there was a time where the gay boys were having tramp stamps back there too. Oh my God, my goodness. But young lady, you are learning a very difficult lesson. You're 23. Hopefully by 32 it'll feel a little bit different. But job, like your market for a job, for all of that just becomes so much smaller. And also, a high performing, high achieving, and a high provider man is not gonna want to attach themselves to something like that. They gotta have a good put together woman that they could take out at dinners and take home to mama and grandma. Sad story. Sad story. And to hear her feeling this way, like she feels like she doesn't recognize herself anymore. Yeah, because you've altered yourself. And now, it's easier to sit with, he made me do it. He pushed it on me. I didn't really want to. I thought I was pleasing him. This was all his idea. It's better to sit in that than actually say, you know what? I fucked up. I look hideous. I did this to myself. What the fuck was I thinking? It's better to blame it on the man, on the boyfriend, and the 26-year-old than her actually taking responsibility for her portion, for her part in it. Like I said, and I'm going to leave it with this. Unless he strapped her down, taped her mouth down, took her to her homeboy's tattoo piercing shop, and did all the things against her will and forged her signature on the consent, because you always have to write a consent whenever you get a tattoo or piercing. You have to write the consent, sign off on it, and shit. Unless he did all of that, girl, you was a willing participant. So start learning how to live in your reptilianness and getting stared, because you said you wanted to be different. You thought you was being, adventurous and looking for attention. Baby, you're going to have all the attention. People they're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to look at you. That's what's going to happen. They're all going to, you want it to be looked at. You want it to be stared at. And you got your wish. Just sad. And it should be a cautionary tale for both girls and boys. The young ones, cautionary tale. I tell you, Love Blake, I see these boys sometimes writing whole scripted sentences up in their like side of their head, in the face, the neck, going down the neck onto the, just a lot. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming through. Please hit the like button. We do this every single night. It's through. I will be back tomorrow with another confession or somebody seeking advice. Or maybe I'm just going to run my mouth. One of the three. But thank you for coming through. Hope you have a productive week. This is one of the holiest weeks for the Christians and Catholics, with the observing of Good Friday on Friday, and then Easter on Sunday. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you for coming through, Love Blake. All right. Peace.